Hello everybody and welcome back to another MechWarrior Online chassis variant series video. Here we're back with the Hatchetman, the Hatchetmen's. This is the 5S model, which as you may or may not guess is Steiner, the Lyran Commonwealth version of the mech. Upgraded in 3049, the 5S was a significant overhaul of the standard 3F model. It replaces the AC-10 with an LB, arguably for better overall damage and potential on the field. Obviously no ammo switching, so there was no ability to have solid shot and cluster rounds. And it upgrades the medium lasers to pulses. In fact, it has 3 of them. In exchange for this, it has an XL engine, which is obviously a bit of a boo moment for a lot of people who are fans of standard engines or light engines, especially in MWO. But this mech does come with an XL engine by default, still the 180, but it does free up weight for a bit more armor, so it's far more survivable than the standard 3F model, and it also has obviously the upgraded weaponry and stuff that go in there with it, and as such it is an overall improvement on the standard model and was quite well received. In universe it only had a single ton of LB ammo, which was a bit of a drawback for a lot of pilots. And it also suffered from the fact that despite having the upgraded weaponry like the pulse lasers and the such, it still only had 10 heat sinks. It didn't upgrade to doubles, which definitely helped to keep the costs down, but did also create issues with the fact that it could very easily overheat, especially if it was a mech that in battle had to jump. Since the Hatchetman is primarily deployed as a city fighter, it would end up in scenarios where it would have to jump around quite a lot and fire its pulse lasers, which did run the risk of the mech overheating. Bit of a downside. But careful management did mean that this thing could potentially do a lot more damage. And considering one of the Hatchetman's greatest strengths was its ability to be able to literally hop from behind a building or over a building and then hit a target at close range with all of its weaponry and then start hitting them with a hatchet, it did mean it was potentially quite deadly, especially for a mech that is only 45 tons. Now in MWO, I don't think the Hatchetman really went over as well as they may have hoped, and as such, it was a mech that I don't really see a lot of these in matches, unfortunately. I think part of the problem was, and a lot of people were saying this when the Hatchetman originally came out in MWO, was that it was a mech that it has a hatchet and you can't use it, so what was the point? It's true, its #1 selling point is the fact that it does come with a melee weapon that looks great, but you can't use it, even if there are a ton of bolt-on options of being able to carry a sword, a wooden hammer, a spoon, you know, a katana, all these different things. It has 0 impact on actual gameplay with the Hatchetman. So essentially you're giving up some of the tonnage that the hatchet takes up for nothing, really. It just factors into the overall weight of the mech and doesn't really do much else. And of course I'm remiss not to mention that this is also recorded on the new map that was released in the most recent update. This is the Free World League Colosseum map, which, as you can probably tell, uses assets from a couple of different maps. The Hellbore Springs is one of them, combined with some elements of Grim Plexus with the bismuth. You've got the very high walls as well. I think a reuse on one of the... it might be Steiner Colosseum or something like that. It's like a lot of their more recent map jobs. It's a mix of a bunch of different assets to create new maps. I personally don't mind this map, though there are currently, at the time of me making this video, a few areas where mechs can get trapped. Right at the spawn, there are a couple of areas where if you walk into them, you just can't get out, so be very careful where you walk, especially out of the spawns, because, yeah, it could basically just mean the end of your round and you'll just have to quit out or get a friendly to, just tell the enemy to come kill you, basically. Because there's no way a friendly will be able to get you out of that hole that you've just stepped into. That's a bit of a shitter. Overall, I like this build. Probably my favourite one out of them. It's punchy, obviously, with the skills. You can get a bit more ammunition in there for the LBs. Well, LBs, like there's, like it's a plural. No, there's just the single one. But it's a high mount. It's a pretty straightforward 2-weapon setup. You can do a decent amount of damage. You don't overheat too quickly. You've got maneuverability. Its speed can be increased with things like speed tweak and the such. And yeah, I don't personally have an issue with this version. I actually think it's quite good. If nothing else, it'd be one of those ones that's perfect for you players out there who like things like light Gausses for sniping and Yeah, just bits and pieces like that. But now hold on. Yeah, this button. I haven't pressed. What is this? Oh, I know what this is. I remember now.
Target.
Glorious! No, I won't give in, I won't give in till I'm victorious. And I will defend, and I'll do what I must. No, I won't give in, oh so glorious. Until the end, until the end.
That was indeed the return of glorious domination. It's been a long time, but I'm glad it's back. Everyone thought it was dead after the end of the Chassis Variant series, but we're still alive and kicking with glorious domination. And that was the Hatchetman 5S. I wholeheartedly recommend it. And after the stats screen, let's just rock out a little bit more to that track at the end. Thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you next time.